I was feeling lost. So that resulted in my isolation, which started with me resigning. I realized that there are a lot of videos about loneliness, but nobody seemed to talk about isolation, which is the natural consequence of the state that loneliness is. And I myself have talked about loneliness several times on this channel, but let's delve deeper into what it brings with it, how it affects a person, and in what way we can leverage this time in order to improve ourselves so that we can become better off and come out of this experience as an improved and better person. As societies progress and digitization enables us people to isolate ourselves without jeopardizing our survival, it becomes very natural for us to fall off into lonely times where we feel that we don't have anyone, especially if you are very busy with your career, with your work, with your studies. You may not have too much time at your disposal to invest into broadening your social circle or even dating someone, which more often than not becomes a substitute for the whole personal life and social life that people have. As long as we have someone to sleep at night with, we'll be good. It's okay, no worries. So isolation doesn't strike only those who are awkward to begin with, but also happens to those who have come to a place where their personal growth doesn't align with those who surround them, at the moment being at least. What ends up happening is that people don't recognize themselves in you and slowly but steadily start to distance themselves from you. And if you're being truthful to yourself and genuine with your own intentions, your values, you do the same towards them. That being said, if you're not accustomed being on your own for very long periods of time, this will be shocking. This will hurt your ego a lot. You will feel so much pain. You will be forced to face all your demons. And that's a very good time, to be honest, even if you won't feel the same way as that happens to you. I won't go so far to claim that I always had a lot of people surrounding me. From my childhood, I was in tune with myself and behaved kind of like a cat. Came and went whenever I wanted. That being said, I liked company, and lonely moments weren't strange for me either. As I finished my university studies and went on for a pursuit of a career, I very quickly realized that kind of a life, that corporate lifestyle, wasn't for me. I wasn't feeling at home. I wasn't feeling at peace. I was very disappointed and felt tricked because I didn't expect the kind of life that I had. You know how it is. You go to university, you study some courses, you think for yourself that the life that you will have will encompass all of those dreamy pictures that you had in your head. But reality is, most of hotshot jobs include a lot of computer work, a lot of sitting in front of a desk, typing reports, mailing to your boss, attending meetings, and serving clients. I was bored, I was uninspired, I was disappointed, I was feeling lost. So that resulted in my isolation, which started with me resigning. It wasn't out of the blue because me and my body were trying to enter the startup scenery, but that didn't work out in the long run, so I ended up on my couch, very confused, angry, with a lot of pain in my chest. Anxiety, existential crisis, call it whatever you want. At the end of the day, I realized that I had to do something and I was seeking answers. So I entered the state of isolation. As I said previously, it wasn't like I was a socially awkward person. I came to a point in life where other people weren't seeking answers to the questions that I was interested in. And although I didn't want to distance myself from them, our paths went separate ways. I came to think about Robert Greene's book, 48 Laws of Power. You shouldn't isolate yourself because you'll be doomed to lose your touch with the reality and in the process lose a lot of power. And truth be told, I didn't feel the same way. My life situation was totally different from the people who he was advising this for. Sometimes you just have to accept reality and let life to guide you. And acceptance was one of the pinnacles of this predicament of mine. It took time, but incrementally I felt relief. I felt like a human again. And in my own experience, you can turn this situation around into your own favor. What I mean is, isolation can be very devastating to your social abilities if you don't use it properly. That being said, you have to take this time to learn about yourself, learn about your own psyche and human beings, what drives us, ultimately trying to relieve yourself from all of your fears. Which will take a lot of time and is a lifelong journey. but you will become better. This is not a binary thing. As you progress along the life, you will feel empowered, you will feel in your essence. I have noticed that I've become much better with different type of people. Previously, I was very hesitant to connect with people who weren't on my social level, if you know what I mean. But as of now, I'm trying to be more accepting, more humble, more tolerant, which makes it much easier to connect with others and feel good in your own skin, wherever you are. You know what I mean? Like if you pass by some shady alley and sometimes you feel this unease, like something is crawling up your skin, it's because you have a lot of fears, judgment, you are very self-conscious. One thing you gotta understand, that biggest portion of self-improvement happens here, up here. It's a mental progress. Consequentially, becoming better with other people, becoming better with dealing with your own shortcomings, with your own fears, takes a lot of work within yourself. Yes, of course, you become better as you practice your skills, because social competence is a skill as any other. And this is another take on confidence. Confidence can be seen as demonstration of courage. We all have fears. And when someone says that you're courageous, they just mean that you have balls enough to take your fears by the horns and face them straight ahead, overcoming your hesitations and doubts. And that courage can be fostered within yourself by raising your self-esteem. And self-esteem boils down to self-love, which happens here, up here and nowhere else. I wanted to make a quick clarification here, which is a very important part of this video. What I meant to say is that you can practice your external skills by interacting and engaging in those activities that you want to improve. But there's another way to see at this thing. Confidence in your skills comes from repetition, but courage for going out there and trying new things can be cultivated through improving your self-esteem. Let me give you an example, like approaching girls. You could have approach anxiety, and that anxiety stems from fears. But as you work upon yourself, you become better at recognizing that nothing substantial out there can hurt you. That doesn't imply that you automatically become a god with girls. That only helps you to overcome your fears in a much efficient way and push yourself into uncharted territories without hesitation, which fundamentally is the biggest barrier in our personal development in all areas in life. So in summary, you can become better through experience and practice, which doesn't translate to other areas of your life. But through improving your self-esteem, the same fearlessness can be applied to all areas of your life. You won't lose your social skills just because you isolate yourself for some time that you have to take in order to take care of your bigger problems. As I mentioned before, social competence is a skill, like riding a bike. Even if you haven't done that for a long time, it's just for you to hop onto it again. And after some quick pedaling, you will feel like riding a bike is your second nature. Same goes for dating and sexuality. I'm talking to young men here. You can take some time off. Nothing will happen to you. You won't lose your touch. You won't lose your magic. You won't lose your mojo.
Yeah, baby! Yeah.
Sometimes you have to take time for yourself, to improve yourself, to build something new, to focus your energy on something that will last longer and ultimately improve your life overall. The point of this video is to make it clear for you that even if you may not have a lot of people around you, surrounding you, understand that it's temporary. And this is a perfect timing for you to figure out yourself and where you're headed in life. Your life situation will change in cyclical occurrences. It will come time where you want to focus on one thing, then you will be over it and you will go on to other things. You will become curious of other stuff and would like to explore and improve that part of your life. And social isolation, whether it's voluntary or involuntary, to the opposite of what people think, can improve your life in many different areas. If you take this time, this opportunity to develop your character, to develop your skill and craft, the best thing you can do in this situation is to take the negative and turn it into something positive. If you still don't get why you are lonely, watch this video. It will give you some perspective. Any thoughts, ideas, or commentaries, you know the drill. But for now, Hossein, out!